Hey you guys, it's Tara from Raw Food Livin', and in this video I'm going to talk about intermittent fasting, why I started eating this way, and the benefits I've experienced from it. So up until a couple of months ago, I had never actually heard the term intermittent fasting, but I had been doing it intuitively for the last couple of years. It came up in a conversation with a friend, and then I realized, wow, I've completely changed my way of eating and almost didn't even realize it because it happened so gradually. So for those of you who haven't heard of the term, intermittent fasting is essentially eating within an 8-hour window, sometimes 6 to 8 hours. It differs for each person. Eating within a 6 to 8 hour window of time during the day. So for me, that looks like 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. or it could change depending on the day. But it's not eating the moment you wake up and also not eating right before bed. So allowing your body adequate time to digest the food and experiencing benefits from that. So the first benefit I have experienced from intermittent fasting is that I no longer feel bloated all of the time. Of course, this has a lot to do with the fact that back in the day, a couple of years ago, I was still eating 3,000 calories a day following other people's advice on YouTube. And that just didn't work for my body. I was also drinking a ton of water, like sometimes 6 to 7 liters of water a day, which was insane. I don't recommend that. And when I started cutting out calories and water intake and cutting that down to an amount that felt more comfortable for my body, I experienced so many benefits, and that gradually led me to this intermittent fasting, or intuitively doing this intermittent fasting. But I don't feel the bloatedness that I used to feel after eating a meal. I used to eat the moment I woke up. The first thing I thought of in the morning was food. And I would have my water, I would drink like 2 liters of water right away. And then a half an hour after I woke up, I would have my first smoothie. So my body got no rest from eating. And then I would go on eating throughout the day, always feeling hungry, and then finishing my last meal late at night. So my body barely got any time to digest, and because of this, I always felt that food baby, but it never went away, it never went down, and I was always bloated. Some days I would wake up and I wasn't bloated, and then some days I would wake up and I'd be bloated all day. And it was the most frustrating experience because I felt like I could never fit into my clothes properly, I never felt comfortable in my body, and I would have to fake that I was happy because feeling bloated is not a good feeling at all. So now that I am free of that, my stomach feels normal. After eating, I don't even feel even a little bit bloated after eating. Now that I think about it, I have my meal and I feel normal. And my stomach stays the same size as when I'm not eating. So it's a beautiful thing to not feel bloated anymore after meals. It is so nice, and it's definitely partly because of intermittent fasting. The second benefit that I've noticed is that I am not ravenous all of the time. This used to be a huge problem for me on a raw food diet. I used to think about food from the moment I woke up, like I told you, to the moment I went to bed. I was obsessed with it. It wasn't just because I was eating all day long, it was also because I was focused on eating super low fat and high carb. And once I introduced a little bit more fat into my diet, that leveled out a little, but still I was obsessed. I remember talking to a friend who probably did intermittent fasting, thinking about it now, and he wouldn't eat until 10 or 11 a.m. and I was baffled because if I had waited that long, I felt like I would have fainted or something. I was so hungry all of the time. And now I don't get that. If I go a few hours without having a meal or having a snack, I'm completely fine. I don't feel any different. Of course, I may feel a little bit hungry and I know when it's time to eat, but I don't get that crazy hangry feeling like I used to get. And this is a noticeable difference because I don't have to think about food all the time because I'm not starving all the time. And I don't actually know why this is. I don't know why it makes such a big difference for me, scientifically at least, why eating from 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. makes me not ravenous all the time. It actually, I feel like it stabilizes my body. I just feel so much more stable in my mental energy and my physical energy. When I wake up, I have some water and a tea, maybe like a sweetened tea. And then I wait until about 11 o'clock before I eat, and I don't feel hungry before then. And I feel like I'm able to listen to my body so much more about when I'm hungry, what my body wants, and what it needs. And that's such a nice feeling, to feel in tune and not feel crazy. Because when you feel hangry, you definitely feel crazy. And the third major benefit I've noticed from intermittent fasting is something I've mentioned throughout this entire video, which is I can listen to my body. And that is such an incredible feeling coming from well, pretty much my entire life not having been able to listen to my body. I have been out of tune with my body since I can remember. I used food as a form of self-medication. I emotionally ate my entire life, and that doesn't plague me anymore. I do not have those difficulties anymore. And it is such a liberating and freeing feeling to not feel controlled by food. And I can listen to my body. Each and every meal, I can think to myself, how do I feel after eating that? And I can choose the foods that feel best for me. And that is such an incredible feeling. And it's something that is so simple. If you had told me years ago that if I had just changed my eating patterns and tried eating for a shorter window during the day from 11 to 7 or 12 to 8 or whatever people choose to do, if someone had told me that that would drastically overhaul not only the way I felt about food and the way I ate my food, but that it would also completely change how I feel about myself mentally and physically, I probably would have said that they were crazy. But being able to intuitively listen to my body, I feel so much more connected. And for someone who's felt so disconnected for most of my life, that's a gift. That is a huge gift. And I am so grateful for this way of eating and how drastically it has changed my entire life, really, because the way I feel about myself and being able to connect to my body intuitively, it changes everything. It's not just the food that I eat and how my body works physically. That changes how I feel about myself, really, truly, mentally, and the way that I love my body and connect to my body. It's an amazing feeling. If you guys want to see how I kind of intuitively structure my day in terms of the way that I drink and eat during the day based on this intermittent fasting idea, I can do a video specifically on what I eat and at what times of the day, if that gives you a better idea of how I space my meals out. And it's not like I've created some plan where I say, okay, I'm gonna eat at 11 and then at 2 and then at 5. It's not like that. I eat when I'm hungry, and when I'm not hungry, I stop eating. And that's how I live my life, and that's how I eat. But if you want to see how that is structured, let me know in the comments below. And if you like this topic of intermittent fasting and you want to see more videos like this, give this video a thumbs up. And also let me know, do you have any experience with intermittent fasting, and has it been good for you? Has it been bad for you? Has it improved your life any? I'm really curious to hear of your experience with this, because the concept is still new to me. I didn't really realize I was doing it for a long time. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.